What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You are on the sidelines with the Sideline guys. And today, people, today, it's an honor to be joined by two OGs in the game, two people that have predated me on this channel by many years. So it's an honor to be joined by my guys once again. First, we've got the Podfather, Derrick Myers. You already
Good.
know. Please let the people know where they can find you before we move on.
Yes, at Derrick underscore OTS. That's Derrick, the black way to spell it.
Yes, sir. Showing sweet, always ready. And then, of
Yes, sir.
course, it's great to have Jonathan back on. Jonathan, how's it going, man?
That's good, brother. Derek, we're hitting what? Well, for 5 years now, the
5
OTS
years. Yeah.
Podcast Network,
Just hit 5 years. Yeah.
baby. For those
Yes,
who don't
sir.
know, I
Yes,
met
sir.
Derek on Twitter talking that shit about the Celtics. You know what I mean? But hey, listen, I'm honored to be back. You boys have been killing it, Chris. You're phenomenal. Listen to all the podcasts you do, and I appreciate you keeping it going as I'm moving into fatherhood and all these other sweet things we're doing in life, right? But let's get it, boys. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go.
Sir, before we move on, please let the people know where they can find your talking shit all over Twitter and anywhere
Oh
else.
man, don't go there now. I'm just mad at the Buffalo Bills right now. So that's all I'm talking about. But and I play Derek's Eagles soon. They're gonna smoke us. I'm not excited. John underscore OTS. If you want to argue, come argue. I'm ready for it.
Yes, sir. We're always ready on this channel, God damn it. But with all
Yes,
that being
sir.
said, before we move on, make sure you're following the brand at OTS Media Co. on all social media platforms and OTS Media on YouTube so you can continue to get these amazing shows that we're going to keep cooking up for you guys. But with all that being said, all the pleasantries out the way, let's get right into it, boys. First of all, we are in the midst of an NBA season. Who would have thought we would have been here already?
Yeah.
But a couple games into the season, but also there's been 7 total games played in the mid-season tournament. So, boys, I just want to start there. How do you guys feel about this concept first and foremost, and how have your watching experience of these games been?
Man, listen, I gotta them courts that they have for these tournaments are crazy. You guys, I don't know if I'm getting old, but they're too bright or something. Like I don't know what they're
Yes.
doing.
Yes.
So visually, right away, it's an L. I'm gonna put it that way.
Yeah.
Honestly, I go back to I was looking at I think it was probably on Twitter or something. Bones Highland was getting interviewed. I don't know if you guys saw that about the tournament, and he was like, "What are you talking about?" Like he didn't even really know what the in-season tournament was, nor understand what it is. So if he doesn't, I don't know
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I will say, obviously the Knicks. I'm a Knicks fan. For those who don't know, I they did play in one game already. They played against the Bucks. It was a great game, but I truly in myself, I didn't see like that's just two great teams. Great is a relative term for the Knicks, right? But Brunson's a great player. He dropped 45 that game. It was a great game, right? I don't think the stakes were raised higher because of this in-season tournament. I just think they wanted to dominate a team that just picked up Damian Lillard, right? That's the competitive edge there. I mean, that's why would you not want to? So I don't know if you guys see any different, but so far I don't see the stakes, and it is very confusing for the casual fan or even for fans like us that watch all the time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think stakes wise, I think they could have done better to make it feel like it had um more of that it factor. Like
Right.
I forgot who said it. But one player said that they they wanted the in season tournament to have the stakes of an automatic seed into the playoffs. And
Tyrese Halliburton.
Halliburton, thank you. Yeah, I like where he's going with that, but I don't think that that makes sense because if if you get an automatic seed into the playoffs, how does that work with positions, right? Like where do you put them? Because like are they like 8? And if they have a worse record than some of the teams below them, how does that work in terms of ranking? I would rather, if it's going to have a playoff implication, I would rather it have the implication of you get home court advantage, right? Like I think that makes more sense to me of a team that wins this tournament to automatically get home court advantage no matter the
Right.
seeding, I think that would make it to where players are bought in more than just, we get into the playoffs.
Right.
Like if
Well,
you
then
get
it
into the
entices them
playoffs,
too, right? Like
it entices
I
them.
really
Yes.
want to get to the playoffs because even if I'm an 8 seed, which
Yes.
how would the playing tournament work? Probably not anymore, I guess. Let's say they're the 8
Yeah.
seed and there's no more playing, right?
Yeah.
I'm not home field against or home court, sorry, against the 1 seed. I got a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, look back at the Golden State Warriors against Dallas Mavs 06 or was it 08, 07, 07.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, they took that first game, got home court advantage, and end up going all the way. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes a difference.
I would like to see that because that's also what I would like to see with the All-Star game. Something like that
Yeah.
too. Automatic home court advantage. Like
Right,
that,
right.
something that actually makes sense because just getting like 500,000 things for the head coach or whatever, like
I like
I
that
get
this
it.
this conversation is even being prompted though, right? Like none of this
Yeah.
stuff was even uh in our wildest dreams a couple years ago. And I,
Right.
I actually think it's
Yeah.
pretty interesting, right? I think you could kind of scale it based on where you are. So let's say you're already ranked as the third seed, right? Maybe they change the playoff format, right? And you get a bye instead of the second seed, right? Because that's the tier of standings you're in. But
Right.
if you're an eighth seed, no, let's say you're a ninth seed and you end up getting guaranteed a spot, then the seventh seed would be forced into the play-in tournament. Something like that, right? Where
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
tangible
Okay.
stakes no matter where
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
are in the standings. I think that'll be cool. But also, I disagree with you, Jonathan. I feel like the games have been different from what I've been watching. I mean, the OKC Golden State game was like 143 to 132. Like it was a super
That
close
was wild.
game,
Yeah.
and until the very end, and
Right.
obviously Steph Curry got the game winner there. So I think it is a case by case basis though, but I'm gonna definitely have a more tuned eye to those games rather than the other marquee games going on because the only thing I don't like is that despite us being in tournament season, there's regular season games. Like that doesn't make sense to me. In my opinion, if let's push it back maybe a couple weeks and then let's actually just
Mm-hmm.
play those tournament games straight. So it's actually a tournament and not
Right.
just a
Right.
secondary standing for us to keep track of.
And it's interesting too
Yeah.
because the in-season tournament games are counting towards the 82 games of the regular season. I agree with you. Why don't we, which has been the conversation for Derrick, how many years? 20 years probably. Drop the 82 games to 72. This has been a conversation. It should never gone to 82. So if you want to do the in-season tournament, to Chris's point, I think it would really raise the stakes as well. Drop that 10 games and then make it a straight tournament before Christmas, or make that championship game or maybe the semifinals and finals Christmas special, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking, okay, ramp everybody up for 5 to 7 games regular season, in-season tournament straight through Christmas, and then push for the playoffs. The stakes, I mean, home court, I probably lean towards home court. The seating gets a little weird if you don't. I mean, my biggest thing is like, what if anybody can look at the Phoenix Suns in the bubble. They were not eligible for the playoffs at all, right? They just were there to help them ramp up, right? 7-0, but we're also a lottery team after that season, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that? You cannot give the lottery seed to a team that made the playoffs. That's just not fair, right?
Exactly.
So it's too much confusion involved. But I do agree that you raise the stakes by giving something home court advantage, whatever the case is, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's time for us to fix the All-Star weekend, right? I wasn't even planning to ask you this question either, but we get one wish each. Jonathan, tell us how you're going to fix the All-Star weekend next year.
I think it's simple. 3v3 tournament. Make it straight hooping. No more this 5-on-5, 180 to 185 games. I want to see the skill of these players. 3v3. How many times we all been up to the court, played 3-on-3 and got in fights, right? Like, so boys are going to take it serious. I'm telling you right now, you make it straight. You just make it straight hooping. Nothing to do with the NBA. Who's got the skill to be who? We talk about this all the time. Who would win in AI and Jokic against Embiid and I don't know, whatever. AI too, right? Or whatever you want to say. Melo and Jokic. Mm-hmm. Make that, show us what would happen. Like, give me the 2v2s and who would win that 1-on-1. Give me knockout. Give me, just make it more interesting. I look back at like USA basketball. I don't know if you guys remember, like, I think it was 2012. Yeah, 2012, because PG was on the team. They were doing that knockout game that was, for some reason, it was like live on Instagram. I don't know if you guys saw that. and they were all
Yeah.
playing. Everybody was playing against Booker was cooking KD was cooking Bron. Like, everybody's cooking each other, right? That was that's Instagram. Like you make that a marquee event of the weekend. You do that. You do 3-point shootout, still great. I think it's even more great than the dunk contest these days, right? All together, looking good.
Yeah. You know what? I think I would love to see something like that. 3v3, I think I would love to see in the format of one G League player, one WNBA player, and one NBA
I
player.
would love that. I would love that.
You give the WNBA more of a platform, bigger platform. We're able to preview some of the top players in the G League. You know, I think if you do it something like that, where the top players of the G League, top players of the WNBA, and top players of the NBA all have the opportunity to team up against each other. Do a tournament that way. 3v3 tournament and let it go that way. And let's see what happens. I would love to see something like that. I think adding competition back to the All-Star game makes sense, but I am glad that they reverted back to the East versus West format. That the whole team LeBron, team Giannis thing or whatever, it's just that was just
so
tired,
annoying, man.
and the draft was annoying. It was really disgusting, honestly.
Like
I
unnecessarily dramatic.
yeah, I like the banter between like Charles Barkley and you know Durant or whatever. But aside from that, I don't. There's no need to let's not do that. I think that having the East versus West makes sense. Let's just see who's the best of each conference and go at it. Outside of that, we don't need to see anything else. But yeah, 3v3, come on.
It's not a question. And you know, it's crazy too, because we always talk about there's certain players in the NBA that we all seen throughout the years. Like you go back to like the Jamal Crawfords, who never were an all-star, but were probably and still are to this day, honestly, at 42 years old, some of the best hoopers in the world, right?
Yeah.
We like there's some NBA players that you say, oh, LeBron would probably win it, or Jokic would probably win it. There's some dudes that are like eighth man off the bench that can hoop in the 3v3.
Yes.
Straight hooper. Bones Highland. I just said his name earlier.
Yes.
He would hoop in a 3v3. And he probably win it. Like people forget about the level of which NBA players are. Like, oh, they're a bench player. They're this. Like JJ Redick averaged 40, 10, and 10 in high school, bro. Like, yeah, he's a 3-point shooter now, but he could cook you in a 3v3. Like, let's be real.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So like it'll show the true level of that. And Derrick, you know, one thing too, I think it's a great opportunity to talk about the camera angles we talked about a long time. Remember we talked about that? I think we texted about that. The camera angles that the WNBA switched to. I don't know, Chris, I don't know if you've seen it yourself, but basically the WNBA started giving more POV camera angles of the players to show their skill sets more, the dribbling, the ball hand, you know, the athleticism as well, to show all that and really like showcase how good these players are.
Yeah,
3v3 tournament is a great way to start showing what these players can do. It's like you can test it all, right? It's just NBA is so smart sometimes, but they're so dumb at the same time. Oh, it's just like, what are y'all doing?
Include them.
For a long time, my wish would have always been get us back to East versus West, but we got there. I was fumbling trying to think of what I could do here. Give me a competition that is completely unrelated to basketball. And I know everyone is going to be like, wait, why would we do something like that, right? And change it every motherfucking year, right? Make it something different. Let's find out what else these guys can do, because I'm sure we'll be able to see some wild shit there too. These people are athletically gifted in many ways, more than ball. But I love all the different options you guys gave. Recently, there has been an interesting topic, though, Derrick. We need to talk about this. LeBron's doing the damn thing again. Please tell the people the ridiculousness that's going on over there in LA.
Yeah, so last night, we're recording this on a Tuesday. So Monday night, the Miami Heat played the Lakers, and they asked LeBron, I believe it was before the game, about his decision to join Miami and all that stuff. And apparently, I mean, I'm not going to read the whole quote, but he says that as far as his career goes, his career was going to be his career. He said, my career was going to be my career as far as individually, because I know how much I put into the game, and I know how much I strive to be as great as I can be. But he said that his career was going to be on this trajectory, whether he came to Miami or not, which as I have a problem with it. Like I get it, I agree with it a little bit. I get where he's coming from,
a little bit.
but at the same time, it's like that's not true. Like his career was not going to be what it is right now. It was not going to be that if he stayed in Cleveland. He admitted himself. Those years that he was in Cleveland, the first stint, he couldn't recruit anybody there. He couldn't recruit anyone. And this is LeBron James. He never could. But yeah, this is LeBron James that could not recruit to Cleveland, right? So it's after going to Miami and playing with D Wade and playing with Bosh and playing under Spo and Pat Riley that he developed into being an actual leader. Because we didn't see LeBron the leader until he got down to Miami and learned from Dwayne Wade. You know what I'm saying? So right, I don't think we would see the same thing. I'm not saying he wouldn't have been a great player, but in terms of being where he is, I don't think that would be the case. I don't.
He would have found a super team to hop on. Trust me. I mean, he's already did it twice since then, right? I think he's not wrong though. Like as far as who he is and what he's accomplished, you have to respect that. No matter where he would have been, the stats still read the same, right? But at the same token, hard for me to imagine a world where he doesn't go to Miami and ends up with 4 chips, maybe 3, right? But those 2 rings were really big time, Jonathan.
I kind of see what he's saying. So I think he's almost saying screw the ring conversation when he brought these comments up, right? He's saying I still break the scoring record. I'm still dominating at 40 years old. Like I think he was talking about his total career accolades aside from rings. I think LeBron's almost like gave up on the ring conversation, to be honest. He knows he's not going to get 6, right? I mean, he maybe can get one this year, but y'all see them Celtics past 5 games? Shit. I don't know if he's getting it. I'm gonna be honest. And the Warriors are cooking this year too, right? So I don't even know if he makes it there. Let's be honest.
And Denver, you can't forget about the Nuggets.
I know, bro, but I just Curry. If Curry's able to catch the Nuggets this year, he's cooking them. I'm telling you right now. We can get that conversation later, but either way, I no guarantees Brown's gonna get there. I think he's kind of said, all right, look. I've got these accolades, I get to play with my son. I get to create another narrative, which not even saying this in a bad way. LeBron is known for creating narratives in a bad way, but overall, it's a great narrative to have. I'm playing with my son in the NBA. We're going to maybe dominate the season together. I'm going to teach him to be me, right? Or maybe just be himself in his own way. He's given up on that. He's going to call himself the GOAT for the accolades, but I think he's not stupid enough to say he's the GOAT on rings, right? It's obvious you're not. Jordan. So it's the reality. But he's not wrong. He would still be dominant if he left.
I think he would still be dominant. I don't think he would be what he is, though. Let me put it like that.
Like in terms of like, I don't think he had the rings for sure. I agree with that. I mean,
see, the rings to me don't paint the full picture. As
I agree.
Talk about this whole GOAT conversation. The rings don't paint the picture for me. They just don't.
Fair.
But I don't think he would be in that conversation without going down to Miami. You see what I'm saying? Like when people consider him the GOAT, right? I don't think that would be. Put it like this. I don't think that there would be people, because I have him, like Kobe is second. I'm not putting LeBron above Kobe, right? I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not. And there are. I will give you reasons why. If you want me to go down that rabbit hole, I will give you reasons why. However, I don't think that you can even have that conversation if he stayed in Miami. I mean, stayed in Cleveland. I don't think that. I think people wouldn't hesitate saying Kobe is.
You can't say that though.
LeBron.
But I think that's just speaking to the ring conversation if you say that though, because
LeBron.
LeBron for me, his leadership is not very. He's not rah very vocal, right? He is vocal to his teammates. He doesn't put them on blast in front of people. He's not Jordan. He's not going to bark in front of you or punch you in the face, right? Like he's just that's not LeBron. But I think LeBron's IQ is such at a superior level that leadership was just naturally always there with what he knows out of basketball. Think about all the places he has been. Yes, I think that he did teach him a lot. I don't think Spoelstra taught him much. Spoelstra was still a new coach, right? I think LeBron did learn a lot from D Wade as far as how to get to the promised land. But I think all of LeBron's IQ as a whole is just LeBron's development within the league. And to Chris's point, I think that still happens if he doesn't go there, right? LeBron is a very intuitive, extremely high IQ basketball player. He is dominating right now because of this.
Oh yeah,
He still got the athleticism to it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's all this. This LeBron
Yeah.
is like death by 1,000 cuts. I like to call it, right? He just knows where to pick and choose how to cut you up, and he's doing it. Right. That isn't because of Miami. That's LeBron. I think that's Chris's point. That's him.
I agree with that.
Right.
I do agree with that. But I think there's a part of it that if those 4 years did not take place, look how different even Paul George's career would have been. Like, remember that Indiana Pacers team with West and everybody, Lance Stevenson, everybody?
Don't disrespect Roy Hibbert.
Roy Hibbert, right? Had it not been for the Heatles, I'm pretty sure we would have seen Indiana at least win one title, right? Because I mean, they were that good that they could have won. I think that the Bulls with Derrick Rose could have won too. I think that if he stayed in Cleveland and was not able to recruit anybody to Cleveland in the first 7 years that he was in Cleveland, how much better would his recruitment have been had he stayed those following years? That's all I'm saying.
At the same time, though, was he necessarily saying
just changed? That's all.
Was he necessarily saying that he would have stayed in Cleveland though? I think he's almost saying he would have just gone anywhere and done the same thing to what Chris said as well. He could have gone to any super team, if you want to call it, just any team at all. What if he went to the Bulls with D Rose? That was the plan. You guys know that, right? Like, it was supposed to be Bron, Melo, D Wade, Rose, and Noah. That was the plan. Melo, of course, Melo fucked it up because it's Melo. Melo messed it up. He rushed himself to the Knicks. That's the problem. But you know, he was the only good graces I've had in the past 25 years. I love him. So, before Brunson. But yeah, you know, I'm with Chris. I think LeBron still finds a dominant path, right? He still reaches these accolades. You know, one thing I might say, Derrick, and I don't even know if you even thought about this yourself. Miami's health facilities, whatever you want to call it, they're the best in the league, hands down. So they probably taught LeBron how to get to this shape,
how to get
keep this longevity.
And
so maybe that's part
of it.
Maybe that's part
of it. That longevity is just there's something that's just, it was something about Miami that was just different, that you saw the switch.
Something changed them.
There was something changed. Yeah.
Well,
I'm not saying he still wouldn't have been a dominant player. Though I don't want anybody to get me wrong on that. I'm not saying he wouldn't have been a dominant player. I just don't know that we would have seen the same level of dominance in terms of
to where he's even
like being in the finals 9 years straight. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that does not happen. That does not happen.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't like his run into like either the Eastern Conference Finals or the actual finals. That whole that period of dominance, I don't know we would have had that long of a period. I think he would have still been a dominant player. I just don't know that we would have seen that, because I think even the Celtics could have won another championship.
That's a great shout. I think when you look at the long term too, it's so weird because he is such an anomaly, right? You mentioned the GOAT talk right here. I'm gonna force everyone to do a top 3 GOATs of NBA right now before we move on. But I need to mention off the top that I think what makes LeBron's case so different, in my opinion, and obviously, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. Obviously, no disrespect. It's just we got to rank people here. And when I go give my GOAT list, obviously, number 1 at Jordan is pretty solidified for me for what he was able to do, 6 and 6, right? But a lot of people forget about the other shit, right? There's a lot of other years that weren't so Jordan tearing up the goddamn league. To see that longevity from LeBron, and this is as a LeBron hater, I got to preface this, to see the longevity of his career and what he's been able to do, it's almost 1A, 1B to me, because the way they dominated the league is very different, and he is still not done. And as far as what he's going to accomplish in the NBA. So you have to sort of have him at second. And then, of course, Kobe is who Kobe is, and I will entertain any of these guys moving positions, right? Because that's the world we live in. But as far as drive and competition, I think he is also solidified as well, right? So there's a weird uh, argument between 2 and 3, but I'm gonna go Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe. Derrick, I'm throwing right to you with the Heat, baby. Who you got?
All right. I know people are going to kill me for this, so I'm willing to have the conversation. But off top right now, I'm going with Michael Jordan, going Kobe, and I think a very underrated. I'm not sure if I can really put him here yet. I'm still trying to figure out what my third ranking would be. But just because his name is the first that comes to mind, Tim Duncan. I think Duncan gets a very overlooked type of analysis in his game. Okay, his level of dominance the longevity for his dominance was very underrated as well. I'm still not sure if I could put him at 3, but he's just the first name that comes to my mind. But I'm willing to put several other players above LeBron at this point. And
What the
I
fuck?
think
Yeah, Duncan over Braun is crazy, bro. I don't care.
We're
We're gonna have to go back
sorry.
and forth on this.
I'm sorry. Look. I think Duncan is very underrated, and again, I'm not sure that I can put him at 3, but his name is the first that comes to my mind when I'm thinking about that level of dominance and just poise in the game. So I think what he was able to do in the West for as long as what he did was crazy, especially in the era that he played. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I gotta sit down and actually do my list. That's why I don't really want to do this. Top 2, most definitely. Michael Jordan and
Several
Kobe.
people over LeBron. What kind of fucking bullshit
But
is this?
I'm sorry. I like when I look at what Tim Duncan did, I think, especially when you talk about postseason, I think for me, postseason is a lot too in terms of like your opponents.
All right, so for me, I got my top. I'm gonna give my top 3 as well. Yeah, that's what you wanted, right? Chris, top 3.
Mhm.
So number 1 for me is TBD still. Okay,
Before you do this, you gotta give me
it's
you gotta give me one. You gotta give me one. You can't do this. There's
it's
no
it's so
number one
it's
is hold on.
number 1 and 2 is still an argument between Jordan and LeBron. Like Jordan right now is number 1. Obviously has the accolades, and again, to Chris's point, he did have those rough years. People forget about it because they just want to. It's Michael Jordan, right? But he had the rough years of getting swept very early in the playoffs. LeBron didn't get swept early in the playoffs ever, right? The 9 straight finals. I don't even talk about championships. That's besides the point. The more LeBron continues to do at this age, and like he's reached almost every accolade he's going to reach now, right? Like he's done as far as like accomplishing anything. He's still dominating in the NBA, which is crazy. For every year LeBron is still in the top 10 in the NBA, it's another plus towards being the greatest of all time. This longevity there, like you talk about Tim Duncan's longevity, that's just him really just being there, right? LeBron is dominating as a top 10 player, sometimes even top 5 in certain games. Duncan didn't do that the last few years. He was strictly a role player, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He was. I mean, that's just a fact.
Yeah.
Kawhi took over,
No,
right?
I agree.
Like that's just what it was.
Yeah.
And LeBron is still the focal point now. What is this year? They said, right? When he's on the court, the Lakers have the best offensive and now apparently defensive rating in the NBA. When he's off the court, they're 29th. That's unheard of.
Yeah. No,
for
it is.
a 40-year-old
age. Yes.
So everything that's what I'm saying. The conversation's not done. I can't really give you the true one until he's done, right? I always said this about LeBron. He could end up getting 5 rings. You know what I mean? Like it's not. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but that's also part of my argument with LeBron. His career is not over. I can't rank him yet. I just like
I'm with you.
This whole. That's why
if he retired right now, there's no way he's not top 3, bro. Like I hate LeBron and I'm offended. There's no way. If he retired today,
I want to wait. I like I like to do the rankings when a player is retired because I can't there's if you're still adding to your resume, like I want to
So
include all of that. I just
for
want
good
to.
for good and for bad, I feel like this GO conversation is a very narrative driven conversation.
It
One
is.
thing I did say is if LeBron leaves the league saying I can still bust all y'all asses, but I'm done, that's some GO
Mhm.
shit. That's some GO
It
shit,
is.
right?
It is.
And
It is.
that's one. Two, if this man could get ring 5 with his son, that's a narrative, bro. Like I
That
took my
is.
18-year-old kid,
Yeah. No.
busted y'all ass with them, and got me a chip.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
41, right?
And
That's a
yes.
narrative. That's
Yes.
GOAT shit. That's
See,
GOAT
and
shit.
that
Top 3 easy. Easy.
see
Easy.
that I would have no problem putting that 3. I wouldn't have no problem when he retires. I want him to retire before I say that.
So almost like unrankable right now, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
I
that.
don't rank
That's
any active
ridiculous.
player.
I
I
disagree with
don't.
that, bro. I'm so
So
sorry.
I don't.
There's no
I
way.
mean,
So
so I think, but Chris, like to Derek's point, that it's true. You have to wait till they're done, right? But to your point, I think what Chris is really saying is act like he's retired today. Where are you putting him? I think that could put him in a 3 right now.
yeah, I would put him at 3 if he retired today.
Right today.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
if he hits those other couple narratives,
Hey, we
But
need to
see,
have
the
another
main
show
narrative.
just arguing this because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
There's no way it's not 2. Like, there's no way to me. You cannot. And this is someone that I have grown.
oh,
You
for me,
listen. I'm
LeBron's
an
minimum
OKC
too.
fan, die hard, bro. I haven't left. I'm still here, bro. There's not a lot of
Right.
people that's still here.
Right.
I've been heartbroken more than most,
Respect.
right? I just gotta say.
Oh, hold on.
I just gotta say, don't
Hold
come
this.
with it.
No,
Hey, I
no.
grew up in New York.
I
Don't
don't
come
want
with
to
this
hear
New
this
York
fucking
Knicks
pity
tears.
party of the
Okay?
goddamn Thunder. You guys have more draft picks than I have fucking fingers on my goddamn hands. I don't want to hear that shit. All right,
Hey,
you got listen. You got
we
Shea,
up right
Shea
now.
Gildas
Hop
Alexander.
on, come
I
back.
got fucking RJ Barrett missing every other game and scoring 5 points when I need 10. All right, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I'm just saying, I don't like LeBron, and there's
right.
no way, he's not 2. Like he is. Like I said, for me, it's 1A, 1B, and then we can start talking about other people, in my opinion. And this is someone that I dislike. So, but we'll get there another day. I'm sorry, Derrick. I love calling you out, but we don't got time. We don't got time today.
It's perfectly fine. We can do another episode fully around this conversation. I just wanted to make it clear. I want to make it clear to the audience. I am saying LeBron is unrankable for me right now. That's it.
One person I will say that is if let's just act like they're all unrankable, but let's say when they do retire, they do accomplish what I either expect them or they exceed what I expect them to accomplish. Right? Steph Curry's making noise.
I was about to say Steph Curry would probably be
Steph Curry. Like, yeah, KD joined them, and I think that is a minus in the conversation, right? Because KD did join them and help him win a couple against LeBron.
I don't take that.
Curry did win 1 without him, 2 without him. I'm sorry, two without him. Obviously, 2 without him, 2 with. Listen, Curry's got a 73-9, and they lied. Let's not forget about that because they lied at the end of that season. But you know, I listen. I don't see a world where Curry is not top 3 if he continues the way he's going to. For sure,
and that's another thing too.
Yeah,
when they both retire.
I know. Which is wild. Look at what we
LeBron's
witnessed.
old as shit. LeBron is closer to that, right? Like I think we got.
But Curry's 35. That's not. I mean, he ain't young.
All right, 41 and 35. That's a big difference.
True that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but yeah. We can move on because we will be on this all day. Clearly, the NBA has us hyped up and really looking forward to continuing monitoring this midseason tournament and how it's going to play out. But now, boys, it's time that we get into the NFL talk. And first and foremost, we're starting right here in New York. The New Jersey Giants, the infamous, are going through a terrible time right now. It's a terrible time out here in Jersey.
Yeah.
Man, I just got to say, obviously, you never want to see a player get injured. All the memes that follow this are about the Giants. This is not about you, Danny Dimes. I'm sorry. But first and foremost, you hate to see someone go down with a season-ending injury, but at this point, you might as well pull the plug anyway, right? Even if he didn't get injured, because what are we doing this year? We might as well try to figure things out long term. But obviously, we all hope that he continues his recovery and comes back strong. But I need to ask you guys right now, with the way that this season is heading, Derrick, what should the Giants do with their number one overall draft pick?
Uh, you know what? I don't know because it doesn't matter who they draft this coming year. They're going to be right in the same position as they are right now. And I know a lot of people keep saying Brian Dable is on the hot seat and everything like that. I don't even know if you can fully blame him. I get it, but I don't know if you can fully blame him. Like you paid Daniel Jones and did not fully invest in protecting Daniel Jones. I don't get how you do that. I don't get how you do that. It's that front office.
If you're going to invest, let me interject because the Giants' entire front office is Bills. It's from the Bills. Their GM was the assistant GM of the Bills. I know them all, right? I think it was ownership. Joe Shane, I'll tell you, I watched every video that they ever talked about the front office. Joe Shane is one of the most well-respected GMs in the league. He was given a lot of duty. He was single-handedly helped us draft Matt Milano, Tre'Davious White, bring in Jordan Poyer. He was all part of it. He brought Josh in, right? He was part of that process as well. Yeah. So let's not act like Joe Shane does not know talent or know this. That owner is known to make stupid ass decisions.
Yes.
Or way back. All right.
Yes.
So let's not act like he's not going in there making to make decisions for himself.
I agree with that.
Just say it's front office a little bit of all the same. Okay, I see what you're saying.
I include that because when you're making that decision, right, and you're not actually investing in your O line fully, right? And then you don't pay Barkley what you should pay him. So like, does he leave at the end of the season? I know he keeps saying he wants to stay. I like it's weird to me. He should either go to the Bills or go to Buffalo, and those are the only two teams
Ain't that
I mean, not
team?
Buffalo. I'm sorry, Baltimore. I'm sorry, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Baltimore. Bills or Baltimore, because those are the only two teams that I can see, that makes sense for him in this point in his career.
I agree.
But I don't see how you can blame Dable on all this. I get it, but I don't get it at the same time. That what they should do with the first pick is either you're going to invest in the offensive line or you trade it to get more assets to help that offensive line. It's not a sexy move. Like that's one thing that I think people keep forgetting. You can't make the big splashes without making the smaller moves that give you those bigger moves. You want to go, you want to go get the popular player or the superstar player or whatever. You want those type of players, but if you can't protect them, why would they want to come?
Listen, football is built in the trenches. The Eagles made it to the Super Bowl because of the D line and the O line. The Chiefs year to year now with the highest paid player in the NBA or the NBA, the NFL, and all these superstar players. Even with Tyreek was still there, and they were paying him O line, D line, because that's where you win. The Giants just said, "Hey, we think we believe in this guy." Dimes, right? Maybe he's going to be the guy. He's athletic, maybe get better as a developed passer. Dayball showed he can bring a guy with talent, Josh Allen, right? That maybe had some issues into a star. Maybe he can do the same with Danny, but no investment in the line whatsoever. That's why Josh had his struggles in the beginning too.
And their picks didn't hit, right? Evan Neal's a goddamn turnstile. We should call him MTA, baby, because
but at the same time, listen, I'll say this, that when it comes to draft picks, and there's been studies on this as well. I follow, there's a group, an organization called Cover One that reviews the Bills film every week. They do recruiting film work, right? Overall, the point of it is when a player like Evan Neal or in general is not developed, it isn't necessarily, I picked the wrong guy. Is it maybe I picked the wrong guy for here, or did this development staff not really bring him to where he should be? What is he missing that didn't let him be great, right? Because you see often in sports as a whole, a player is very bad in A place, but they go to B place and they're very successful, right? So it's a combination of scheme and development, and it's top to bottom failure for Evan Neal. I don't think it's just Evan's fault.
Yeah, but I think that honestly, I don't think you get rid of Brian Dable. I like I
No.
don't
I wish, because he's coming
and
back
let's
to us. If that's the case.
look. How about this? Like I understand last season was what it was, but it was what it was. Like I don't think it was an aberration. I think that that was a season that you can actually build on. I just think that from last season to this season, they missed. They missed on what they were supposed to do, which was protect Daniel Jones. Because honestly, Jones is actually a good quarterback. He's a serviceable quarterback. He's
Serviceable.
not he's
I,
serviceable.
serviceable. I'll give you that.
Yeah, he's someone you can build with. I'll put it like that. He's not like one of these elite quarterbacks, but he is someone that you can build
I
with.
think I think if you put him in Shanahan's offense, they probably make Super Bowl. But
Why not?
he's serviceable enough to do that. 100%.
Yes,
100%.
yeah. You put the right players around him, he can do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
I don't think that I don't think he's a trash player.
So
So
one thing
like
I'll say
moving
too,
on doesn't make sense.
when it came to the Bills, so like, and everybody knows about the Bills trajectory because I'm a sad fan that dealt with them for 20 years of a drought. But the 2017 was McDermott's first year, right? Obviously, Bills coach McDermott, and that was their year of we're gonna sell, just like the Giants did, right? They sold everyone, took all the dead cap, didn't care. We got rid of Sammy Watkins, Marcel Darius, like all these different players, right? And we're like, we're not gonna make playoffs, no chance. We sneak into playoffs thanks to Tyler Boyd. Appreciate you, homie. He got us into the playoffs. And then the next year is okay, we're going to draft Josh, right? That was our down year. The problem with the Giants, they're kind of right now in the same trajectory. Giants made the playoffs when they weren't supposed to. They just made the dumb mistake of paying a quarterback that they probably should not have paid the amount they did, right?
Right.
This is supposed to be the down year in the same trajectory. Next year, you either find your guy or hope that Danny developed into the guy. It's looking like it's going to be the other or the former. The Giants did things a little differently, but I see them on a very similar trajectory as the Bills. It's that playoffs, maybe miss it, and then develop everything from the inside out. Their defense is phenomenal. They locked us the fuck up. I'm telling you right now.
That's a good defense.
we won by, and granted, that's Dayball had a hand in that as well. Yes, he's known to be an offensive coordinator, but as you guys probably know, coaches in the NFL can coach both, right? Like as an offensive coordinator, you need to know what defense you need to do to stop it, right? So naturally, you know it. And Dayball just knew us by the book. Damn near had the playbook in his hand for all I knew.
Yeah.
But that's the point. It's a very long process, but I think they can get there. I think it does. So to answer your question in full, Chris, this is what y'all need to do right here. Right there. Right there. Go get Caleb fucking Williams and watch that team turn around next year. You don't even have to go to wait. He's gonna go in there and dominate right away. Or Drake May. I think Drake May is a great prospect too.
I love both of those
shouts. That
shouts.
offensive line.
That's my answer, right? My answer is never put yourself in the situation you're in. We're already there. So good luck fixing that, in my opinion. But you're almost, if they do what you said, Derrick, and they continue to build around Danny Dimes and it doesn't work out and these guys join the league and take it by storm, man, the memes. Trust me, this franchise is already a meme franchise, right? Even their greatest highlight is a series of memes, right? Shout out to Eli Manning. But all things considered, this train is already off the fucking track, right? You'll be stupid at this point to draft another quarterback, even though it is the right thing you should do, in my opinion. This is another of one of my favorite archetypes in the NFL. Kirk Cousins' cousin. We got another cousin in the house. Clearly, he is one of those brothers. I think you go quarterback if you're rational, but because of where you're at, you can't. So the best thing is what you mentioned, Derrick. But man, imagine they find a way to get Marvin Harrison and another quarterback and just say fuck it, right? Like get 5 tight ends like the Falcons and let's sling this damn thing, baby. I won't be surprised if we end up in a world like that. But this team is unfixable at this point. There's nothing even simple instruction would do for the years of lore.
The contract they gave Danny, for me, was poorly constructed as well, right? So I think Daniel was at a point where you can't say he's the franchise guy. Yes, he did well, he didn't do well enough to tell like I want to give him 250 million, right? I think they should have did like a 2-year bridge deal, 30 to 35 to 40 million, depending on incentives per year, and I can get out after this year. They didn't do that. They're stuck. Next year, he will be on that team next year, right?
Which is why I don't think they can move on from him. You just have
Well,
to
I mean,
continue
they
to work with him at this
you'd
point.
be surprised what some teams are willing to do. I mean, if you're willing,
Yeah,
if you can get
yeah,
Caleb Williams, I mean, you go get Caleb Williams, right?
yeah, for
I
sure,
just,
for sure.
I don't think they're gonna be bad enough. Like the Panthers. Look at the Panthers. They just took Bryce Young. I think they might go ahead and take Caleb instead. Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you?
I don't think
Yeah.
he's that bad. They're making Adam Thielen look like a goddamn superstar at this stage of his career really speaks to that level of offensive support our guys dealing with. I actually like Bryce Young.
I
We'll
do like
keep
him
an
too.
eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that. Go ahead,
Where's
Derek.
Miles Sanders?
Oh yeah, man, you were 100% right about that, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
That take aged very well.
Hubbard is number one now. So
Crazy. It's a
wild
cold
times.
world we live in. It's a cold world
Cold
we live
world.
in. But with all that being said, since there's no way we're fixing New York, it's time to get on to these games. God damn it! Thursday night.
Sir.
Wait, first of all, we got to recap because that's what we do here on the sideline, guys. Week 9 was a very interesting week after you had clawed back in the standings in week 8 and cut it to 4 points last week. You went 12-2, but god damn it, I almost went perfect. I went 13-1. So both you and I are sitting at 93-43. 50
Wow.
games over. You love to see it.
Wow.
And you are at 88-48. If you ask me, we're fucking tearing it up. And we only
Yes, sir.
intend to continue doing that.
Yes, sir.
But with all that being said, first game, Panthers versus the Bears on Thursday night. Derek, why do we have to watch this?
Are y'all? I ain't watching that
I
game.
am. I'll throw it on.
I'm gonna
I-
be asleep.
Bro, I might be playing 2K. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be an NBA game on. I might be watching that. I'm not even sure. I think the Bears are gonna win this, but who cares? This is one of those games that it is what it is. I don't.
On a quick side note for NBA, tomorrow will be one of the funniest NBA games you guys will ever watch. Hornets versus Wizards. I don't know what the hell Jordan Poole is going to try to do, but I'm so excited to try to watch it. And LaMelo's going to try to copy him. Just saying, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
That's gonna be hilarious. Yeah, yeah. Put me down for Chicago, bro.
I like
it's
it.
just
The Tyson Bagent led Chicago Bears. Jonathan, who you got? Bears, Panthers.
Ooh, I'm joining this.
yeah.
You know what? You convinced me on Bryce Young. Let's give the Panthers that one.
Hey, I like it. That's all the rationale I need too. I'm also going with the Panthers here. Make it interesting off the top, a little head to head right off the start. Next up, we got a 9:30 game. Do we know if this is international? I'm a terrible host because I have no clue.
It is.
Is
It
this
is
domestic?
international.
Okay.
yes.
Insert insert international country here. At 9:30, we've got the Colts versus the Patriots. Another game that is in sad affairs considering where we started the season 10 weeks ago now. I'll take the lead on this one. I'm liking the Colts. Obviously, they are at this point the lone survivor of these two, right? We've got all taken our fair share of bullet wounds at this point of the season, but the Patriots have a much more gaping hole that they have to deal with as far as the injuries and the things they're dealing with on that end. Easy to pick the Colts here. Gardner Minshew keeps slinging that goddamn thing. Who you got, Derek?
Pause.
No pause. Hey, you said some crazy shit earlier, and I let it slide. All right, but all right.
Oh, did I? My
Yeah.
bad.
What did you
I've been
say?
wild lately. Yeah. I've been wild lately. My bad. No, I think I'm going to Colts as well. I think that they're winning this for sure. But I will say, I keep hearing about people. There's some rumor going around that if the Patriots don't win, Belichick will be fired after this game, which to me makes no sense.
He's never gonna be fired.
He's not,
Yeah.
and if that were to ever happen, that's in the off season. I can't see that happening, but I don't see them winning either. So I'm going to Colts, and let's see if Belichick gets fired. Let's see if that happens. I doubt it, but
I'm done with the Colts.
It's
For 17 years, those motherfuckers fuck with me, all right? Those goddamn Patriots. I'm a Bills fan. I suffered, and they're gonna suffer now. They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose Belichick, and I'm gonna laugh in their goddamn faces because they're stuck with Mac Jones. Bye, Colts. Fuck the
I love
Patriots.
it. I love it. Yes, fuck the Patriots in the mud once again. I sent. Funny enough, I sent a clip just now of the Patriots low light reel from the season so far to one of my cousins, and immediately what I wrote underneath, I used to pray for times like this to grind like this, and it feels so motherfucking good. Next
It's so
up,
goddamn good.
Browns at my Ravens. Jonathan, you better be ready because I'm throwing right back to you, brother. Who you got?
Lamar is Watson playing? Do we know?
Yes.
He should be playing, right? Because he's kind of weird. Lamar. Ravens. Ravens are gonna listen. I will say so. Like Lamar is doing. They're not running him as much as they used to the past few
not.
years. They want to keep him healthy. They're probably saving it for the playoffs. And all I'm gonna say is, including the Eagles, y'all motherfuckers better be scared. The league needs to be scared of Lamar going into this goddamn playoffs because if they let him loose, he's already balling anyway, right? So if they let him loose in the playoffs, who is going to stop him? The only team that's shown the ability to stop him is us, and we're missing four all pros on defense, right? So it ain't us. We ain't stopping him. He's about to unleash, and he's going to do it tomorrow, this Sunday. So I take the Ravens.
Derrick, what you got?
Yeah, I got the Ravens as well. Chris, I think prediction we made earlier this season is starting to shape up very well. I think it is going to. We are looking at the AFC representative in the Super Bowl, and I think it's going to be against the Eagles for sure. So I'm looking forward to that game. But yeah, the Ravens, I'm loving what I'm seeing. So I'm going with them. They're hot. They're hot. They are red hot. So, yep.
Yes, sir. Browns haven't been that bad themselves either lately, but
No.
I'm biased. I'm biased like a motherfucker. This is what I've been saying all year, right? People were talking shit those first couple weeks. Hey, there was some turnovers. Hey, there was this. We gotta adjust, right? We gotta adapt. We gotta figure out what it's like to run the offense this way. And man, I couldn't be happier. There's so many different variations, right? There's so many different ways that we could play out a game, which, in my opinion, makes us one of the best and hardest teams to match up against. And what our guys are doing on defense too, the most underrated part of it all, which makes it super exciting when the offense is the forefront of a historically good defense. So super pumped for my Ravens as always. There's no way I'm not picking them here. Next up, Packers versus the Steelers. Derrick, who you got in this mid off right here?
They're playing where?
In the Steel Curtain in Pittsburgh.
All right. I think the Steelers are starting to get something going. I'm going with Steelers. I think they can actually pull this one off.
I like it. Jonathan, who you got?
Fourth quarter, Kenny Pickett. He's just been balling the fourth, man, just making it happen. So I think the Steelers are always going to keep it close the rest of this season, and I think they're going to find a way to win it. TJ Watt is also. I mean, I'm sure you guys have known in past years and even now, his level of play is absolutely ridiculous. He's unstoppable. I mean, he's a difference maker. Nobody can stop him. So I got Steelers.
Hey, I'm going with the Steelers too. Shout out to one of my cousins in my dynasty league. His name for Kenny Pickett, his nickname is Big Dicks Little Pinkies, baby. No balls. We going all in, baby. And honestly, people were talking a lot of shit about how the Steelers should be looking at getting another quarterback. I just think we need to fix those other things, like you were mentioning. Their line isn't solidified either. And hey, the fact that their big high draft pick running back isn't playing out too well at this stage of his career is interesting to watch too. I think if this team had a semi-regular offense, they're a lock at playoffs, and I picked them to make the playoffs this year. We might not have to talk about that, but with the way they come on later on in the season, I'm sure they're going to keep getting better. That one deserved a pause. We'll move on. Next up, God damn, we got the 49ers going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. I'll take the reins here. Nobody on this show is a bigger 49ers apologist than yours truly. I know that obviously things have not been looking right lately, right? Things have not been looking good. but I don't know necessarily what I'm dealing with these Jaguars either. And I just like that at this stage of the season they are showing up and have shown, hey, yeah, we might have had a rocky patch early, but we're coming into our own. And the fact that they're finding themselves in this matchup at this point of the season makes it super dangerous on a slide to face a team like this. I'm still gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna hang myself. I'm going for the Niners here. I think defensively, what they're going to be able to do to disrupt their offense is going to be the biggest difference maker and what makes it happen. But hey, the straw that stirs the drink, Brock, we got to figure this out, man. Yeah, I've been single handedly right making you out to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Don't prove me wrong. Don't prove me wrong. I'm going with the Niners, but very close game. Won't be surprised if the Jags make some noise. Derrick, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Niners as well, but I wouldn't be shocked if they lose this one either. I think one of the biggest things, again, we've talked about this before, but Doug Peterson, his schemes, I just there's a next level thing that he does that I've always appreciated. So I think it's very possible they can win this game. They're at home as well, but I'm pretty sure that that defensive line is going to be for the Niners is going to be very motivated coming in with Chase Young. So I'm going to go ahead and err on the side of caution and go with the Niners on this one. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Jags could actually pull this off too.
Didn't expect that at all. I thought I was going to be the lonely man on this island. Jonathan, are we crazy?
I guess I think you are. So the Niners pushed really hard to get somebody. I don't know why they thought they needed Chase Young, right? I think they had more than enough depth on the D line to make up for it. All four guys are versatile, can play every position on the D line. There was no reason to bring in Chase, right? They did. They needed secondary help, right?
Yeah.
And who's on the side of the Jaguars is going to cook the shit out of all of them? Calvin Ridley. Trevor Lawrence is going to have a day, and the Jaguars are going to win. I'm pretty sure.
Book it.
Would love to
Book
see
it.
that.
I like it. I just think it's your affinity for men named Josh Allen. Somehow his name didn't even get mentioned, and you're still going
Hey,
with the
that
Jags.
defense
God
is
damn it!
legit too, man. Listen, their defense is
Oh,
very good too.
it is.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Peterson
Next
can
step.
coach.
Yep. For sure. Coaching matters in the NFL, God damn it, and that continues to show every goddamn week.
Yes, sir.
Next up, Saints versus the Vikings. Derrick, I'm throwing to you early. Who you got?
Are they in Minnesota?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's a weird
I'm gonna
game.
be honest. It's a very weird game. I think one of the best stories is Josh Dobbs and what he's been able to do this season in general. Um, uh, I want to take them. I want to take them. You know what? Give it to me. I'm going to the Vikings, bro. I'm gonna go with
Wow.
the Vikings. I think Dobbs proved a lot last week on a short notice type thing,
Not
being
even
able
knowing his
to
teammates.
and and being
Showing
able
the
to get it
cadence
done.
on the sideline, baby. Just going over the
Yeah,
cadence right before
yeah.
he got in.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Vikings. I think that he may have. I think he may have made the conversation interesting next season. Like, I'm pretty sure Cousins is going to be back, right? But
He might
now
not be
you
back right away though.
not right away.
Mhm.
But
No.
if and see this thing, if he's not back right away, and Dobbs gets off to a hot start next season, what are your conversations then?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It's a great
saying?
question.
You're
So
right.
I, I'm gonna go with the Vikings, man. I feel good about Dobbs. I could be very wrong about this one, but I'm gonna go with the Vikings on this.
Jonathan, who you got?
Listen, I'm with you. I feel the magic with Josh Dobbs for sure. One hot take I did have real quick though. So the Bears seem to be, at least in my opinion, they seem to be pretty committed to these number two, number three overall pick, right? What if the Vikings trade Justin Jefferson to the Bears and then they go and get Caleb or Drake May? So this is a I mean, I'm just saying, if they want to go get a franchise quarterback, they give the Bears have the second overall pick already. or likely to, right? They're also going to have the third. That means the two quarterbacks taken. They'll have Justin Jefferson, Justin Fields, Marvin Harrison as well. I don't know. We'll see.
I would be.
But
Hey,
just saying, just saying. If it was an inter-division, I'd see it more so. But it's more than likely not happening. I like the Josh Dobbs story. I think Derek Carr is improving throughout the season. Taysom Hill is actually balling the past few
yep.
weeks too. But it's just there's something going on with the Vikings. Jefferson might be back, so give me Vikings.
I like it. I like it. I'm gonna be the lone man on the island this time. Don't forget, this is a great Saints defense, right? Their offense sputters and spits all over themselves, but I think this is a huge test for Josh Dobbs. And honestly, the Alexander Madison, the most presidential RB in the league, has let me down this year so far. The fact that Cam Akers gets traded over and is having an immediate impact, and isn't particularly successful himself, right? But taking away touches from you, these are all problems. And I'll be surprised, to be honest, if the Vikings finish the year with a winning record. And I don't think that's the case for the Saints. So give me the Saints, baby,
Didn't Akers?
on the road.
I'm sorry. Didn't Akers tear his Achilles?
Ooh, damn. I did not hear that, but damn. I was talking my shit. They're gonna have to lean on the presidential RB then,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. And so far that hasn't been the best deal. But we'll move on. Next up, Texans versus the Bengals. The hot Texans coming off of one of the most fun games of the year. That was a damn ride. Can we just talk about that? Can we
Wild.
here real quick?
Yo.
How are you guys feeling about the Shroud experience?
He's him. Like
Confirmed.
I will listen. I will say some NFL. We were just talking about this, right, with the Giants and Bills and all this. Some NFL GMs and coaches are so smart, but they're also so smart for their own good. It was clear as day Stroud was the guy. Why did David Tepper feel the need to jump in and say, "I want Bryce Young instead"? Stroud. I don't know if you guys saw the video. They were basically all the Panthers crew coaching. Everybody was there. Josh McCown, Frank Reich. They were all there with Stroud at his pro day, and they were talking. And Josh McCown's like, "Oh, I'll bust your ass in basketball to Stroud." And Stroud's like, "All right, well, we'll see." He goes, "Well, when you get out here and buy your house, we'll make sure it has a court." Basically telling the man, "We're going to take you at number one," right? David Tepper stepped in the week before the draft to say, "Get Bryce Young instead." You think they're regretting it? Yeah, Bryce Young got the upper hand last week. I get it. He won, sure. Or the week before. I'm sorry, the week before. But Stroud, 450, 5 touchdowns, one of the greatest games ever, honestly. But for a rookie, definitely. And Panthers gonna bite. They're gonna regret it, big time, big time.
What's been so surprising for me is just how consistent he is. He's making his his receivers look like veterans, and he
Dude,
is a rookie. So it's been a
his
treat
presence.
to watch, man.
His presence is crazy, bro. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I we talked about it at the beginning of the season too. Like I think Stroud, I think the Texans in general are going to be one of those good heartfelt stories anyway of the season.
Yep.
That's I thought that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really necessarily care about the record. I didn't think they were going to do anything, going deep into the playoffs anyway, but this is a great stepping stone for them to prepare for actually building a team. And I think they're doing a great job so far.
The league should be worried if they figure out the rest of that roster.
Yeah.
God forbid they find a way to bring Marvin Harrison to him too. Oh my goodness. Just be afraid. Stroud's gonna ball. Be afraid.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I think who they playing this week?
The Bengals.
Oh, are they in Cincinnati?
Yep.
I'm taking Stroud.
Yeah, the Bengals are one. I'm
way. Really?
I'm taking Stroud.
The Bengals. I'm going Bengals, bro. I like just because of where they're starting to hit at this point of the year. That I think again the Bengals always start off on a very rocky start for the last couple of years.
So weird.
They're just rocky, but it's like around this point in time where they start ramping things up. I actually think this is going to be a really good game. This might be one of those game of the week type games.
Would
but
you have
I'm
thought
just
going
gonna
into this season that this game could be like a 45-40 game?
no.
No,
Like
not at all.
right now, this might be the marquee game of the week.
It might
Like
be.
it
It
might
might
be.
be. Yeah. Yeah.
That wait,
Give me the
we
Bengals
we
though.
can't flash over the fact that you already announced your pick for the Texans. So please make the case, Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm with the Texans. Like I said, Stroud is showing that presence. The defense for the Texans, look, D'Amico Ryans can coach his ass off, right? So we know he can coach the defense out. Obviously the Bengals are going to have their moments, right? They're dominant as well. But you know what's a low key great piece of the Texans is that offensive line. I don't know how they pieced. I mean, they have Laramie Tunzel, we know that, but other than that, I'm like, I don't know who you guys are, but you're doing good. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
they listen. I don't think the Bengals defense is what it used to be. I don't want to even talk about how the Bills couldn't score on them, but they should have. I'll put it that way. All the film shows that they should have scored 40. All right. They're not what they used to be. I think Stroud's gonna find those spots and he's gonna cook. So it'll be a high scoring game, but I think Stroud pulls out.
Making me want to actually switch my pick now.
Please do, because I'm so
Listen,
confident in the Bengals
Listen,
at this
look,
point in the
I don't want to
season.
get too deep
Please.
into film stuff. I would love to do that on a separate podcast, right? But
Oh
they
god.
there were instances, and this is like almost a dig at Josh, right? Josh Allen. There were instances. Dalton Kincaid had 10 catches, I think. Yeah, 10 catches this past Sunday. There were instances he could have had 18 to 20, wide open, schemed perfectly. Bengals just shit defense, and Josh didn't see it. So, if Stroud sees it, woo, it's gonna be bad for the Bengals.
Please let me know. Are we switching, Derek, before I finish off here? Pause.
Damn. What did you
Man,
say?
you know what? Let me do it. Let me do it.
Oh my God, bro. You're making it
Let me do it.
worse. Okay.
I'm gonna
You're
go
such a
to
bad
Texans.
influence. You're such a bad
Yeah.
influence.
Yeah, let me do it.
There we go. I love it. I love it. I'm definitely very confident in the Bengals at this stage. They have already hit, in my opinion, peak Joey Burrow, Joey Buckets, right? Get the fucking cigars out. It's that time of the
Oh
year.
man.
And honestly, I hate to see it, right? This is a team that for so long wasn't even an afterthought in my mind as a Ravens fan. And now fucking worrying me every week. So I'm pretty confident in this pick. But I love the storyline. Please, I wish the Texans are gonna ball this week, but gotta pick with the head. I'm going Bengals. Next up, Titans versus Bucks. Jonathan, I hope you're limber. I hope you're ready because I'm throwing to you first, baby. Who you got?
It's one of the most disinteresting games I think I'm ever gonna look at. Will Levis is a starter now. Let's give it to him. I hate Baker Mayfield to be honest. So much anything anti-Baker, I'm for it. Will Levis, Titans.
Okay. The Tennessee
uh
Titans. Derek.
yeah, I think the Titans may have figured something out. And it's weird too, like saying that. Because I really don't like what happens to Malik Willis?
Third string. They said no.
You're just chilling.
Like
I'll take him as a backup in the Bills. Just saying.
look, I put it like this: next year, they can't keep all three.
No.
So, yeah, might as well. Yeah, give me the Titans, man. I think they're starting to do some piece some things together. I like
Hey,
what they're doing.
it's a lonely island out here. The Bucks, regardless, say whatever you want about Baker. That front line is liable. God damn. Will Levis is in. I hope he has his banana mayo sandwich on the sideline.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough
Oh
one.
yeah, he
I'm
does
going
do
with the
that.
Bucks. Next up, our 4 o'clock window has finally opened. We got the Lions at the Chargers. I'll take the reins on this one. I like both of these teams for very different reasons, right? I like the Chargers because they're that cousin at Thanksgiving that just can't keep getting out of his can't keep getting in his own way, right? You want the best for him, but
Yeah,
he just comes a little more out of sorts every year. But you're rooting for him, right? That's what matters. On the other hand, the Lions are actually, in my opinion, uh, en route to doing something pretty special. And I'm a fan of what I've been seeing from them this season. This is a tough one. tough one, especially on the road. But give me the Lions. I just think the better team prevails, and discipline on defense is what wins this game, if you ask me. And I trust the Lions a little bit more, which I would have never thought coming into the season. Once again, with all the anticipated hype of this Chargers super team on defense, it just keeps falling apart. But hey, Khalil Mack's still doing his goddamn thing up front. But I'm
Yeah,
going with the Lions. Who you got, Derek?
I'm going Lions as well. I think they're just I think they're the more reliable team. I can actually, I think at this point in the season, you can actually say, hey, you know what you're going to get from them. Chargers, I'm still like, it's like 50-50. You just don't know who's showing up. So give me the Lions. I like them. I like what they're doing. So
Jonathan, who you got?
I'm with you. I think Dan Campbell is just a straight motivator. Lions off the bye week, healthy. Amon Ra's going to cook. Jameson's hopefully healthy. Um, Jared Goff is just unbelievable. I'm he's a franchise guy again, which I never thought we'd see. So give me
resurrected his
Lions.
career again.
I would have never like
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill is probably the next closest shocking thing for me to ever see, right? Dolphins horrible, Titans decent, right? Goff is like, is he near like better what he was? I think he's almost better than what he was with the
Better.
Rams.
That's a
I
hot
mean,
take, man. That was all AJ Brown. Ryan Tannehill is dog water. This is different.
well, I'm saying, well, Ryan Tannehill in the Miami was god awful, but he was also with Adam Gase, right? Adam Gase, Jets coach as well.
Catch a
Horrible.
case, Gase. You love him.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm with it. I think Goff is just going to keep taking his team where they need to go.
Love to see it. All unanimous, which probably means we're going to be fucking wrong. But next up,
Yeah,
Falcons at the Cardinals. What is this? The Kyler Murray led Cardinals? Is that correct? Am I saying that correctly?
Possible. He's possibly coming back.
Oh,
Yeah.
get your tank tops out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going with the Falcons because I pick them every week and I overestimate them all the time. On the road, they should be able to do the damn thing against a team that is openly tanking. But I'll leave it at that. Jonathan, who you got?
Give me the puny little guy running around. Cardinals. Just for fun.
Ooh,
I don't really care
okay.
about either team, to be honest. So I was the Falcons to me. I think Arthur Smith is on the hot seat, believe it or not.
Should be.
He is just in panic mode, switching back and forth between Ritter and Heineke. Ritter starting this week apparently now, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he switches again tomorrow because he's that bad of a coach. But Murray coming back. I mean, listen, I will say Gannon. You know more so about Gannon than all of us, right?
Gannon's a train wreck.
He can be a train wreck, but with the pieces he's had without Kyler, with a Josh Dobbs, with these random quarterbacks that are now going to be playing for them besides Kyler, they've been in games. I mean, like most of their games, they've kind of been in thanks to Dobbs, honestly, but they've been in games, and you hope Kyler comes back healthy, and if he is healthy, I think they can win based on what we've seen on the track record, right? So I'll give it to Cardinals.
Yeah.
I like it. Who you got, Derek? Why are we laughing? I'm curious.
Because Gannon. that was
Fucking Gannon.
I was just talking about that earlier today, actually. The man who cost us the Super Bowl. I think I'm actually gonna go with them though. I think you know what's funny? Because I think I'm assuming Kyle Murray is out at the end of the season anyway. I think he's gone. I don't see him being there further than this year. What better way to be petty than to mess up the draft pick?
Oh,
that would be my motivation.
Okay.
Screw them on your way out the door.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna go
Earl Thomas when he's leaving, you know?
Yes. Yes. Give me the Cardinals. I think I'm gonna go with them. I think Kyle Murray is gonna be a little motivated to show what he can do. I don't think that he's done. So yeah, let's see what he can do.
I don't know. Hey, one thing I will say though, although I might switch my pick off this actually. Call of Duty comes out Friday, and we all know Curry.
Oh yeah,
you know what?
Gonna be in that Call of Duty over the book.
Shit. Impeccable timing.
X factors that you get on.
You know what? No,
channel.
This is where Kyler shows that he doesn't give a goddamn about Warzone. Cardinals.
Damn, double
hilarious.
down. He doubled down.
Look,
He about to be in that
don't.
game all day.
The,
He about to be in that game all day, bro.
but would it be hilarious
Oh
that
my
he does
god.
that? He doesn't study the playbook and still goes out there and wins the game.
Even better.
That would
Like
be
a
hilarious.
true fuck you to the I fuck your
Yes.
draft pick. I played Warzone till 4 a.m. I didn't show up till 6 a.m. Like I fucking love it. Petty.
And
I love
still
Petty.
did it.
I love it.
I'm erring on the side of Petty. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Fucking go, Murray. I love you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. This is going to look great for my standings at the end of the season. Next up, Giants at the Cowboys. We had AT&T, right? That's what it's called, right? Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I baby barf just now. Why don't you lead
Oh.
us off, Jonathan? Who you got?
This is the Cowboys. I mean the Giants. No, sorry. Like they're just god awful. They're just so bad. I think the D line's gonna eat. I think the Cowboys are motivated. Dak Prescott, he's been playing really good this season. Like
Yes. Yeah.
he really has. And he was right in the game with you guys, Derek. And I don't think they're a big playoff push team. Because it's just an accident waiting to happen, right? It's gonna happen. But they're gonna absolutely dominate tomorrow. Or I'm sorry, this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm riding the same way. Sorry about that. I'm
sorry.
riding the same way. I'm going with the Cowboys. And my question here, I'm gonna go. You know what? We're going all in. The Giants do not score more than 3 points.
Woo! I'm about to bet that on FanDuel. Not an ad. Not an ad. I wish it was an ad. Not an ad.
Love it.
Look, not yet.
Not yet. That's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Cowboys definitely win this one. I would love to see them stop crying over last week. So maybe this gives them the ability to dry their tears a little bit. Yeah, Cowboys win this game. And Michael Parsons,
I love that Derek hates them boys. I love that's so petty. I fucking love it.
Hell, look, because I get how people feel, but the better team won. That's just it. The better team won the game. I don't know why we're trying to get out here and talk about moral victories. Moral victories don't ever apply to us. Like anytime something happens
You
to
just
us,
win.
Look, Super Bowl. Who had the best game? Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes? Who played better? Jalen Hurts played better.
Oh, 100%.
But you're not going to sit here and say, oh, because he played better, we should have just won the game. They did not win the game.
The better team won.
They lost the Super Bowl.
Right. You win, you're the better team. I don't care what nobody says.
We're not crying about it. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
right.
The Cowboys are just trash, man. It was very Dallas-like. It was very Dallas-like to lose the game the way they lost the game. So yeah.
I think it was very trashy to break Dallas Goddard's arm as well, but that's just me.
Oh yeah, a very dirty play.
Ripping at his arm, fucking disgusting.
Somehow nobody else wants to talk about. That's
not a peep.
If
you know why?
Did that,
Jerry.
Yeah, if we did that, it's all over the news.
Oh yeah,
it's all over the news. So yeah.
Damn, air him out. You love to see it. Even though we all know that they're gonna win. Fuck them boys.
Yeah.
Hey, my dad's a Cowboys fan, and to this day, every time he asks me about, hey, how the Cowboys doing, I'm like, why don't you fucking find out? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna give you updates on your own team, bro. At this point, figure it out, all right? Because they're good. They're better than they should be, but they never will be what they think they are. But next up, Commanders at the Seahawks. This is a sneaky good game.
It's a sneaky
so
game.
I'm gonna take the reins on this one. Hear me out here, right? I think the Seahawks have an underrated group of cornerbacks, even though they've been all the rave this season. They're still underrated. I'm a big fan of what they have going on, but at the same time, offense, even in wins, kind of strange to me. Things aren't being figured out here, especially with Cam Wargo. We need to figure this out. We need to get these guys going, especially in a game like this. I think the Commanders are alive, but I don't got the stones to do it. I'm picking the Seahawks. Derek, who you got?
I'm going to Seahawks as well, man. I think they need to bounce back from last week. So it is what it is. They're playing at home, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that 12th man I think is gonna show up. So yeah, give me the Seahawks.
Man, I fuck with Sam Howell. Give me that W for Sam, baby. Let's go.
You love
Commanders.
to
Now,
see it.
so I do think this is some semblance of like self motivation for the Commanders. Like they played really well last week. They won the game, right? They did win. Yeah, they did win. I the world is talking about how Montez Sweat and Chase Young are no longer on the team. They're all motivated to say we don't give a damn. And I think Sam Howell's going to go out there and ball out. He's on pace for some pretty damn good stats too this year. So he's doing well. So Seahawks are great. Obviously, we know the defense is great. Chino's great. But I think Sam's going to go out there and show what he can do.
We love to see it. Next up, Jets at the Raiders. Two franchises at a motherfucking crossroads here. I think if you pick the Raiders here, you're kind of nuts. I'm going with the Jets, and I feel very confident in it. But Jonathan, are you trying to talk me out of it?
I'm kind of nuts because I'm going with the Raiders. Listen, I look at that post game speech by Antonio Pierce, and just seeing all the players happy, right? Antonio Pierce for sure. Like Devontae Adams, the way he was locked in to listening to what Antonio Pierce had to say, they were like going through torture. It seemed like, man, like I don't. McDaniel's just now the second time, and mind you, the same division, right? He did this with the Broncos, where he destroyed a locker room. And there was a story that came out. I thought it was fake. I literally checked the account 40 times to make sure it wasn't a fake account. That McDaniel's based like Antonio Pierce gave a speech, and did you guys see that he gave a speech and he's like, well, when we beat the Patriots, he said, don't ever talk about the Patriots again. Like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Are you the Las Vegas Patriots or the New England Raiders? Like what are you doing, bro? Like this is let the man talk. And now you know what? He is talking. He's running that team. They're motivated, they're playing hard. Yeah, they don't have a quarterback still, but maybe they squeeze a way to make it happen. He did say one thing. I have Josh Jacobs, I have Devontae Adams. They're gonna get the goddamn ball. And guess what they did last week? They got the goddamn ball and they won the game. So I think they're gonna keep trying to do the same thing and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Got me fucking fired up. Derrick.
I love Pierce, man. Really do.
Yeah. Look, I didn't
Take the
even
mold
know
of
that he
LaShawn
was
McCoy. Like he's got
a
that
little bit. Yeah.
tune to him. You know what I mean?
I didn't know that he was on the coaching staff until he
because
got
McDaniels will never highlight shit. That's why.
I had no clue. So it's good to see the Raiders actually have a head coach now. Welcome to the season. I think the Raiders. Sir. I think the Raiders are going to win this game. I think it's. I don't think that's a farce. I think that they can actually win this game. I think that fire that Pierce lit, I think is going to start a like just this energy that's in there, and that it's just different. It's interesting to see the dynamic between the 2 weeks, like with McDaniels there, how low they were, and then Pierce is now the head coach, and then boom, why not? Give me the Raiders. I think this is going to be a good one for them.
I love it. Next up, Broncos at Bills, and we know when the Bills are involved, we gotta go straight to the mayor of Buffalo himself, Jonathan. Tell us what you guys are gonna do on this Monday.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm in such a weird spot with this team. Like no troll, all BS aside. It's you look at every analytical statistic, you look at the statistics that are actually just right in front of your face, they all say the Bills should be undefeated, right? And there's just something going on where it's like a top to bottom failure where we just continue to not be able to execute, right? Whether it's Josh or the coaching or McDermott himself. Josh does not seem himself. I don't know if you guys have probably watched some of the primetime games with him. You guys remember Crazy Josh? I mean, I know him more than anyone, right? Crazy Josh screaming, dance on the sideline, yelling in people's faces, hype the fuck up. He's not here.
Yeah.
And that scares me against a team that already beat the Chiefs, right? So I'm again biased. I'm gonna always pick my team to win, right? So it is the Bills to win. I think it's gonna be closer than it should be. And Von Miller needs to step the fuck up finally for this $200 million we gave him and maybe get a sack. He didn't have a tackle last week, so I hope he get at least something. So motivated against a former team, right? So hopefully he can go out there and do his thing. We're home, so everybody should be able to get it together, and I think we'll win. We'll win handedly, hopefully. So
I love that little dig at the end, right? We got to motivate these
Yeah,
guys. Somebody needs to fucking do it. Derek, who you got?
yeah. I have the Bills as well. I'm not willing to give up on them yet. They are
It's
frustrating.
they're so
They are
annoying.
frustrating.
They're so annoying.
But if there was like one move I wish that they had made before the deadline, it was to trade for Devontae Adams. And that's just to give Stefan Diggs some help out there. You know,
It's
just to create some diversion. You know, like
so when it comes to the Bills, like again, looking at the film stuff, I don't want to go too deep into it, right? Josh has weapons. James Cook has a weapon. Gabe Davis balled out in the playoffs in the 13-second game. Dalton Kincaid is a great tight end that's on pace to break records, right?
yeah,
Josh is missing a lot of reads. He's not seeing a lot of people. But I also think he's seeing them and just not trusting his guys to make a play. He thinks it needs to be all on him, right? You see Hurts, you see Burrow, you see quarterbacks that are willing to say, "I don't need this ball in my hands," pause, to to make a play, right? I I I I can trust these guys to go out there and help us win. I don't see that with Josh right now. And to your point, Derek, yes, you bring in Devontae Adams. Not only does it help Diggs, that tells Josh, "Oh, I got another guy that's like maybe even better than Diggs." Like,
yeah,
I can trust him. Like, I know I can
yeah.
trust him. So, maybe it's a mistake they made, but Josh has got to get that mental together. And we're in November now. Like, it's not like it's September. Got to get it going.
Let me ask you this, Jonathan, because Chris and I had this conversation. I want to say it was an off season or right in toward the preseason time. If the Bills don't do it with Josh Allen this year, what is the conversation after this? Because like, is it move on from Allen? Is it move on from McDermott? Is it get a new
So
offense coordinator? Like, what is it?
you never move on from a franchise quarterback. They move on from you, right? That's my number one
Right,
rule.
right.
You don't go 20 years without one and just say we're going to get rid of him, right? If he wants to go, then I guess we don't have a choice. But I think he's here to stay. He's very committed to the community and to Buffalo and to the team. And I it's interesting. So I've compared McDermott so far. For me, he is he is a type of coach that can bring a great culture to a team that's never had it. He can raise up lesser talent to win games. I'm not sure he can take a contender and go win it all. Who does that remind me of? John Fox with the Panthers. Ron Rivera comes in, they make it to Super Bowl. Andy Reid with the Eagles. Bunch of runs. Somebody comes in and wins the chip right after he leaves, right? So besides Chip Kelly doesn't exist. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
He doesn't exist.
I don't ever talk about it.
My fear is, and this is so people need to understand, coaches can develop the same as players. People can become better people, better coaches, better this, right? I'm not saying McDermott can't do that. He may not be able to do it here. That's the tough conversation we will have to have if this does not happen this year, right? Is McDermott capable of taking us to that next step? And that if it's not only if McDermott can specifically do it himself, it's if you can find someone to replace him that will do it. Right? It ain't easy to just say, I'm going to bring in Doug Peterson. He ain't coming here, right? He's over there in Jacksonville and balling.
Yeah.
You got to find the right guy. Is Andy Reid going to leave the Chiefs? No. Do I think Eric Bieniemy would be an amazing choice? Absolutely. Oh, think
I think
Derek.
Derek's efforting here. You're good. You could keep going because I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, Bieniemy is known to be a great coach, a very good motivator. There's been some rumors out there that he's maybe too tough on his guys. Maybe that's what the Bills need, right? Like right now, we're seeing that the Bills don't have that enough. Look, Bieniemy may be the choice for me. I don't want to speak too much into it. McDermott has taken us. I don't want to count last year at all, right? We had so much tragedy happen last year in Buffalo as the city. We had DeMar as well. The injuries that piled up. McDermott took us through to a 13-3 season, obviously with the postponed game, right? Into the playoffs, winning a playoff game barely, and then obviously losing to the Bengals. But I struggle. He's done so many great things. There is going to be a conversation as to whether he can take us to that next step. I'm not sure he can. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm really not.
Oof, that's a great question. Before we get on from this, too, I just got to ask you, Jonathan, while we have you, how have you been feeling about the Dalton Kincaid experience? Obviously, coming off of a
Oh
bigger
yeah.
boom week last week, but coming into it, obviously the big talk of the town was the pick worth it? So, how do you feel about his prospects as a player and moving forward?
I got to tell you, so people immediately see the position that's drafted and say, "Well, they have Dawson Knox. Like, why would they bother drafting another tight end?" He was meant to change the offensive scheme we wanted to do this year, more of a two tight end set, more like the Gronk and the Murderer back in the day, right? That was the purpose, is to get more of a two tight end set and change what we do. Use Kincaid more of like a Beasley from 2021, right? Um,
Mhm.
it's worked. I love Kincaid, man. He Tight ends normally don't do this as well as he's doing in the first year. Kelsey didn't, Andrews didn't. I mean, you go on and on with all these tight ends. Kittle was awful his first year. I don't know if you guys remember that. His first year is terrible. Kincaid has shown he is more than just a tight end. He is balling for sure. So I'm very happy with the pick. Definitely.
Agreed, agreed. It's times he really looks like the slot receiver as well.
Yeah,
So there's
100%.
a lot, and diverse players are really underrated, especially in the NFL. I feel like they get a lot more credit in the NBA about, oh, well, this guy can do this guy can do this.
Right.
Very hard, especially in a position forward sport, to be diverse and to be able to help the team in many different ways. God damn. I could go another 6 hours, man. This was an awesome episode, and I hope you guys all agree. But on the way out, let's make sure the people know where to find you guys. So, Jonathan, please let the people know once again where they can
Yeah.
find you.
Once again, you guys found me at John_OTS, and always talking on there, ready to go. Of course, on this great podcast as well. But uh thank you for having me, guys. It's 5 years, Derek. I still can't get over it. Over 5 years now.
Yes,
I
sir.
look I
Yes,
look
sir.
back at that first podcast though. I'm like, you that
That
thing
was
was a
rough,
mess.
wasn't it? Yeah.
But listen, the platform Derek and I intended to make is here today. It's going to get better tomorrow, and the future is looking amazing due to people like Chris and others that are being involved, Julio and everybody. Derek, the Podfather, will always be the catalyst. I'm just the guy throwing the oil in the wheels to make sure it's going a little bit, But I love what you guys do, and keep it up. And I'm going to jump in as much as I can, even with this baby I got going on. But
Yes, sir.
I'm here, man. I love it. You guys were amazing, and you continue to do it.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. Much appreciate. I got a lot of big shoes to fill on this side, so good to
And
see
you're killing it, bro.
I'm doing exactly that. You could find me at Negron MMA on TikTok and on Twitter. It feels good, man. It feels good. I've been talking about this. I've been manifesting this for many a month, and getting some engagement. Right, got 1,000 views already on one of the reels on TikTok. So
Nice.
doing the
Nice.
damn
Okay.
thing, brother. Doing the damn thing. Make sure you follow me there as well as on Twitter, the site, X, whatever you want to call it. Same username, Negrong MMA. And on Instagram, Chris Negrong_. Run it up, baby. Derek, where can they
Yes,
find
sir.
you?
Oh man. Oh, Jonathan, we need to convince Chris to get on Facebook so he can come into the OTS group page at some point.
Do we want him to
Uh
do that?
yeah.
He might get really mad in there. I don't know.
Oh no, it'd be great. It'd be great content.
Oh, I
Uh
love it.
but nah, yeah, you can follow me at Derrick_OTS. That's DERRICK, the black way to spell it. But like Chris said
Facts.
earlier, follow the brand, OTS Media Co. All social media platforms, OTS Media on YouTube. Hit that like button, subscribe, and notification bell, and be up to date with all the content we have loading out. And I am again forever indebted to both of you guys. Appreciate you guys for everything you have done and are doing. For not just the show but for the brand itself. So much love to you guys. And we have our
Love.
first OTS baby that has been born. So congratulations again to you and Christina, brother.
Appreciate you.
That's
Appreciate you.
amazing stuff, man. Happy for you.
Love always, man.
Most
Nothing
definitely,
but
most definitely.
feel good stories coming out of this episode. But as a wise man named Derek Myers told us earlier in this episode, if you're going to come, you're going to keep coming. We'll see you guys next week.
Oh, yeah.
You want those type of players, but if you can't protect them, why would they want to come? Then why would they want to come?